Agroforestry is defined as a land management system that integrates trees or shrubs with agricultural crops or livestock in a mutual and complementary means. It involves the intentional combination of agriculture and forestry practices to create sustainable and resilient land use systems. In agroforestry, trees are strategically planted and maintained within agricultural landscapes to enhance productivity, conservation, and overall ecosystem benefits. Agroforestry systems vary widely and can include different practices. Patrick Mugume visited a farm in Nansana Municipality, Wakiso District. After preparing this land for farming, we started with banana plantations, but later intercropped the plantation with coffee plants. The banana plantation was planted before the coffee trees because we wanted the banana plantation to provide shade for the coffee plants, because coffee does not need much sunshine. As we initially cleared this land, which was formerly a forest, some trees were not cut. These act as windbreakers to both banana plantations and the coffee plants.
One of the value of agroforestry is to get windbreakers. Now, windbreakers, you can see this side, it is forestry, but also you can see this side, it's crop. Therefore, anything that comes the other side, it will be blocked, and this crop, they will thrive.
Agroforestry has proven to be a valuable and sustainable approach for farmers to address challenges associated with climate change.
We have different setups, but the basic setup here that we do is in line with agroforestry, where we have combined crops, we have combined tree planting, we have mixed animal keeping on the same farm. Yes, so where we are here now, what I would refer to, you were talking about climate change. As you well know, climate change is associated with so many risks, with so many problems. But one thing you have to understand about climate change, it comes up with extreme weather patterns, it comes up with changes in seasons, season variations, which affects basically our farming systems. So this agroforestry helps us to encounter such cases in our settings here, especially in Uganda or the tropical regions, which have not received the high effects, but of late, in the last few months, like 4 to 5 months, we have had a very rapid change in temperature patterns all over. So, one, when the temperatures are very, very high, I think by the time you bypass some crops along the Matuga Road, moving, most of the crops will wither. So you don't expect to harvest much more in that. But here what happens, the trees help to modify those temperatures very well. Then too, with the developments undertaken here, remember we are in a city suburb, a lot of carbon emissions, factories, vehicles, you know, things that come up with urbanization. You have a lot of fumes getting up in the air. But you know the best thing about this, for us we are happy. These trees need the carbon dioxide in the air for them to live. But as they collect as much as the carbon is emitted, they save the environment from the effects of the carbon. So what we call carbon, is it carbon cycling or carbon sequestration, something like that? You guys understand that because you are still reading. But
it's
now
called carbon sequestering.
So the carbon effect is not felt around. Where you will find the carbon acidification and so many things. For us here, we don't get it. Then again, if you come to look at the environment, the environment around, it is hot out there. But we have tried to maintain, the trees help to maintain a very good environment. I would say they will conserve the water. Water is conserved.
Soil erosion.
So the rate at which water is lost from the soil, or what we call infiltration, water going deep down in the soil level, is totally low. So our crops which survive on on top soil water will get it.
Wow.
Now the trees as well have falling leaves or so many. So these try to give a plant cover on the ground.
Wow. As
So,
mulching.
Possibly you would call them
Yes,
mulches, I would call them plant cover. So what happens in case there's water runoffs around?
Yes.
They will be stopped by this vegetation cover. So that means the issues of soil erosion, the issues of losing the top soil, which is highly rich in nutrients, is low. So that's why you will see our crops trying to grow very, very well.
The integrated approach of combining agriculture and forestry practices on the same piece of land has been recognized as a sustainable land use system that can contribute significantly to enhancing food security.
Like I told you, agroforestry encompasses the point of diversified food sources. So we have had the cassava down there, we've seen the other food types, you've seen the coffee, you've seen the animals. But here, these trees can offer shade in the compound. The trees can offer you food, that is two. The other thing you can do, if you go to the market, one cocoa fruit like this one, averagely here they'll give it to you at 5,000 or around 3,000 to 5,000, just one fruit like this. But you can assume these trees all along the compound, there are very many, and you can see still fruits on. So you have an income source, you have shade for you, you have food rich in different, remember these are fruits, you get your vitamins, and you know, you will get so many things.
Agroforestry systems can harbor a rich diversity of plant and animal species, promoting ecological resilience and supporting overall biodiversity.
Biodiversity. It is the way how you can preserve life, even to this tiny life that is not seen by our eyes.
The presence of diverse plant species in agroforestry systems attracts and supports pollinators, benefiting both crop yields and wild plant production. Mugume also made his way to Uganda Wildlife Conservation Education Center, commonly known as Entebbe Zoo, where the trees in form of forest coexist with animals. This time, not domestic animals, but wild animals under the silvopasture system. UX sits on approximately 72 acres of land and 13 acres of intact forest that acts as a buffer zone to chimpanzees, rhinos, and other free-ranging animals, especially monkeys, insects, and a number of reptile species.
I'm a lion.
The forested center trees are sustainably harvested as forage for herbivorous animals like giraffes, elephants, buffaloes, and zebras. The same ecosystem supports a variety of other animal species, from the big cats, the birds, and the tiniest insects. Other benefits of agroforestry include pest and disease control. Biodiversity in agroforestry systems can act as natural buffer against pests and diseases, reducing the need for chemical inputs. Agroforestry practices often have deep cultural roots, and the landscape they create may hold cultural and historical significance.
People who are around you who are trying to cut tree today, tomorrow, and the other day, or who are against agroforestry, what message can you give?
One of the things I can say is agriculture has not been well understood by those who do it. I will say.
Okay.
People will think it is about growing these perennial crops, it's about growing cash crops, but without thinking about the long-term effect. But this is a long-term solution to some of those problems. The message I would say, let us try to incorporate such practices into our farming systems. Keep animals, grow your crops, food crops, include trees, because there are several importances that you will find here. Yes?
Wow.
There's diversification of the products. You will have cash coming from the trees through timber. You will have enough supply of food. I would say this would be one of the solutions to food security.
Yes.
Because that has eaten up us, or we don't have enough supply of the food. But because of our brain, we have failed to understand how basically agriculture works.
We must know and consider 3 principles of agroforestry. And these principles are suitability to people, suitability to a place, and suitability to a purpose.